What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be going through Port Adelaide's greatest ever comeback in AFL history, because we were meant to be playing West Coast this week for round 4 of the season. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances, as you will know, that we aren't be playing any games of football into the near future. So to celebrate the fact that it was going to be round 4 and we we're going to play the Eagles, I thought let's take us back to what was one of the best games of football we've played in terms of a comeback. We were 41 points down, and I'm going to tell you a bit of the story and reminisce about the time we bet the West Coast Eagles by 5 points after being 41 points down late in the third quarter. Let's take you back to that fantastic game. There was a lot on that game. Let me tell you, we were 4-0. Hadn't lost a game under Ken Hinkley in his first year. It was the first big team we were playing besides the showdown in that season. It was Kane Corn's 250th game. A legend of the Port Adelaide Football Club. It was his night. It was also Anzac Round. And this is why Anzac Round, and this game in particular, is so good to reminisce and rewatch and think about and talk about, is because it was Anzac Round. And now you might think, well, why is it so special that it's Anzac Round? Well, Port Adelaide showed the fighting spirit that Anzacs had when they were fighting on the front line. And for us Port fans, all 26,000 that were there that night, one of the biggest crowds we've had in 2, 3, 4 years at AAMI Stadium. It was a massive game, and for us it was just the biggest game we could be a part of since being under Ken Hinkley. And the first half was absolutely shocking. We were down by 4 or 5 goals at half time. We weren't really in the game. We were just wasting opportunities. And then the magic of Chad Wingard happened.
Was it Heath or Jackson Trengo?
Trengo, actually.
It is Jackson Trengo, but it's been rolled through against the grain.
So 41 points down, late in the third quarter. You've got an opportunity to come back, put a bit of momentum on the board. We did. Jakey Need kicked one. Brought it back to 29 points. And then Matthew Broadbent, just before the 3-quarter time siren, kicked the goal to put us within 4 goals and giving us momentum to go into the last quarter.
Back inside 50 in this third quarter. Gives it a good run. Crowd, no.
That's the one.
Now, one thing before I get to the big last quarter is what I remember most, and I was definitely there that night, and I think a lot of you will reminisce and actually think, oh yeah, I was there too. And I tell you what, 26,000 people have never been that loud. I've never heard a crowd louder in terms of when your team's coming back and you can sense they're coming. Oh, the atmosphere. And Port fans do it brilliantly. They get around the boys when they're on the verge of cracking and getting back into the game, and they do it so well. And I just remember standing with Dad and thinking, wow, we're actually going to, we're in the shot. 22 points is a big margin at 3-quarter time. But the way we were playing, I was thinking, oh, we're going to get this within 10 minutes. And then you start the last quarter, Hamish Hartlett bangs one from 60 out. It bounces over the pack and rolls through for a goal. We're 16 points. Then you get to Kane Corns. He puts one on the boot just out of nowhere. Just in his 250th, he had Wingard on, Need on, and it was just a great play. He kicks a goal in his 250th game. The crowd went mental. We were back in the game, and then my man, Travis Boak, the captain in his first year. First 5 games as captain. He already been playing in some excellent form. He kicks a goal from 45 out on a very tight angle, pops it home, and then within 3 minutes after that, we get a clearance. Bang. This footage will show you exactly what happened.
Port Adelaide has not led in this game. West Coast has led from the outset towards Need. Robbie Gray can't mark it. He hits the deck. Travis Boak, the captain, through traffic for the first time tonight. Port Adelaide in front.
And the crowd's going mental. Everyone's knowing we're in front. There's still 9 minutes to go. West Coast go down, kick a goal. They're back in front. Now it's, you're in the game. This is going to end up being an epic. And then the bit of play that we'll remember, and I reckon it's one of the biggest plays Jakey Need's had in his career. First 5 games of football. This is his first year. And he's taking on the mega bodies of West Coast players on the wing, dances around a couple and sprints away.
Here he goes. Can he finish it? A couple of bounces. The crowd's on their feet. Can he find Robbie Gray? Puts it inside 50. Gray, a sidestep, hands it over. Angus Monfries. Listen to the roar.
So you go through all those emotions, all those enjoyments of the little things in the game, and you don't feel anything. You're just there. You're in the moment. You can't think straight. You're nervous. The boys were on fire, and it's just the last 5 minutes. They were the most nerve-wracking 5 minutes of football I've been a part of because we're in front. Usually, when you're in a comeback, you're wanting to kick a goal in the last 2 minutes to get in front of the game, and then hopefully the siren goes. But this is different. You're in front. Anything can happen. You kick a goal, this is almost game over. It's going end to end. The pressure was immense. And West Coast have one last crack, and Westhoff takes the mark. The fitting thing about this game, though, is in the end, when the siren goes, the man with the ball, Kane Corns, in his 250th. No more of a fitting moment that is, to come back from 41 points down. You've worked your ass off to get to the point where you can win this game. And Kane Corns ends it with the ball in his hand in his 250th game with one of the biggest comebacks in Port Adelaide history. I know it's definitely the biggest comeback in AFL history, but it's just, that game stands out for me as one of the biggest comebacks. And to relive that story over and over, I've bought the game on DVD, I watch it here and now, I look at the highlights constantly, because when you go through that game itself, players made their moments, and they're going to be remembered for that game, because the modern day Port Adelaide fan, this generation, were there at that game, or they were watching. They remember it. And that's why it's one of the biggest games of football in Port Adelaide's history, in terms of a comeback, in terms of showcasing that fighting spirit, and that's Port Adelaide footy. And that second half was one I'll remember forever. Thank you very much for watching, Port fans. Make sure you leave a comment below on what you were doing the night that Port Adelaide beat West Coast in a brilliant comeback. AFL Evolution content as well coming your way. Career mode not too far away, but we'll get it going very, very soon. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL Evolution content coming your way over the course of this isolation period that we're all in, waiting for footy to come back. Stay safe, take care. My name is Anthony, and as always, go on the ThePear.